Sean Sewell here with Engearment.com, and this is the Hyperice X from Hyperice. This is a contrast therapy device, meaning it will go hot and then cold without any ice or water. It's pretty revolutionary. It's not necessarily new, but they sent this over along with their Normatec Go and the newer Hypervolt 2 to aid in my recovery after a foot surgery. Right here, bam! As well as to use in our gym here in Denver for our clients and students. So, past about 2 months, and I have some thoughts on it. So I want to share them with you. So let's get into it. Okay, first and foremost, what is contrast therapy? Well, it's hot, and hot is going to have vasodilation, and then cold, which is going to have vasorestriction. Now, both are really helpful in recovery. Sometimes we'll do RICE, rest, ice for 20 minutes, compression, elevation. And sometimes for pain relief, you'll do heat. Now this will do both. And like I mentioned, it doesn't utilize any circulating water or ice or nothing to add to it. It's just this. Well, it's just this and the charger, which is a pretty substantial charger, this guy right here, because it's a substantial device. So basically how it works is you charge it right here, pour it on top, and you can use it while it's charging, which is pretty cool. So you can get an extension cord and wrap it around the couch like here, and then prop yourself up and do it. But this will charge for about an hour of use. It'll get down to 32 degrees. I've not tested it with the thermometer, but I've watched other people test it down to 32, 33 degrees. The sensors on the back, you can see right here, there's 5 pads that make contact with your skin, and then your kneecap goes right here, the patella right there. And then it'll go up to 112 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're gonna strap it on my left knee, because that's the knee that's been getting the most kind of messed up while I've been wearing that walking cast. So, my wife has actually enjoyed using this quite a bit too. So now I have it in place. There's 3 straps. My knee is right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fans. I'm going to turn it on. There's a power button on top right here. Green is on, and there is also an app on here. So let's get into the Hyperice app. One of the first things to pop up is the Hyperice X. Let me do a screen record of this. So in the Hyperice X remote control, there's different programs you can do. Let's do let's do contrast therapy. So that will be a good example of what we're doing. So I'm going to connect the device, connecting Hyperice X. And now it's connected. 18 minutes sounds good to me. And you can see the range there. And then microphones right here. You can hear the fans kicking on. So let's see how cold we can get it. I like cold a lot. So how I've been recovering from the chelectomy, which is a surgery to remove arthritic tissue. Oftentimes what happens, in case you're curious about arthritis, is the bone-on-bone contact will cause a lot of friction, and the dust from the bones will fall apart and then form into new bones that shouldn't be there, and it restricts the range of motion. So I've been dealing with that for 10 years, and I finally got surgery on it after I broke my foot 3 times in 3 months, and the x-rays kept popping up with this bad arthritis. Like, the foot's gonna heal, the break's gonna heal, but the arthritis is not. Your feet are like an 85-year-old broken man, so we need to go in and remove the bones. So I did, they removed the bones, and there's a lot more than I thought. So I should provide for great relief and ability for my toes to actually go through a fuller range of motion, so I can get on ski boots and hiking boots and stuff again. But that's cold. That was less than a minute, and it's amazing. It feels like there's an ice pack all around my knee, but it's just the fans, which is crazy, right? And so you have a blue light right here, you can see, so that is indicating cold. And then as it goes into the hot, the fans turn off, and then it goes through with these coils, like a heating pad, and creates the warmth. It's pretty ingenious. Let me see if I can pause it and then go to warm. All right, I'm gonna go hot and hot. I'm just gonna select heat. Now it's immediately warm. Less than 5 seconds and it got warm. You see it's on orange. I'm gonna bring it up to oh boy, more warm. I'm not the biggest warm fan, but this does feel good. Wonder what happens when I go to hot. Okay, that's hot. I'm gonna go back down to right there. So really versatile item. There are other cold circulation devices. Some have compression, which is of benefit, of course, for certain conditions, but just for recovery from sports and activity, I don't know, skiing, snowboarding in my case. I know there's a picture of me right there on top of a mountain. Love splitboarding, hiking, mountain biking, regular sports, football, basketball, baseball, you know, tennis, stuff like that. This would be a really cool tool to keep in your kit, along with these guys for the compression. So you got the Normatec Go for the compression on the calf. You got this guy going on your knee. And you got a pretty cool recovery setup right there, having the ice and the heat and the compression. And then elevation's up to you to kick back and relax. And of course, drink plenty of fluids. As you can tell, I've lost my voice during the surgery. But I'm just going to pound those fluids in the ice and get back to recovery. And it's pretty remarkable too. I'm not trying to brag or anything, but it's 2 days out from the surgery, not using pain medicine, a little bit of Advil just because I recommended it. I do have a pretty good nerve block going on after the surgery, but yeah, I think one of the keys to recovering has been the compression, the elevation, the contrast therapy, and just rest. The thing you can't get enough of, right? Rest, taking it easy. I'm not good at that. I like to get up and do stuff. I'm shooting videos right now when I should be watching Lord of the Rings, but I like to help. Hopefully this is helpful. If it is, thumbs up, be appreciated. If you want to see more content from Hyperice, I got another thing or two coming up with them. Consider subscribing to our Engearment YouTube channel. I'm Sean Sewell, owner and director of Stoke. Until next time, take care.